friends, welcome back to the Self-Care Clinic. We are here with an ASMR episode, and we're back with another in-person studio episode, which is really exciting.
Things are happening.
We're just frolicking about here in Los Angeles, but we're so excited to be talking about ASMR, which has been a viral phenomenon for the last few years. There's a huge audience for it, so we thought we would bring an ASMR artist along to kind of talk about this viral but little known stress relief tool. For those who might not know, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It describes the deep relaxation and pleasant scalp and neck tingling that some people feel in response to quiet sounds such as whispering or quiet sounds combined with gentle movements and personal attention. So, to help us learn more about ASMR as a practice, we have Ina, who is also known as Sleep_ASMR artist on TikTok and Instagram. And YouTube, don't forget. She is an ASMR creator whose ASMR content has millions of views across platforms, and they are a must listen for anyone who wants to try out ASMR for themselves. We're so excited to be here with you today. I'm so excited to have you, and just want to check in and see how you're doing. We love to ask our guests how they're feeling. How's your week been going?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. This is super exciting. My week's been great so far. Super windy today. When I got here, my hair was
yeah. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, we have the windswept look. It's because of the Santa Ana winds here in LA.
Right. But otherwise, the week's going great so far. And you guys, did you have a good week so far?
I'm good.
Yeah.
And work has been really good, so thank you for asking. But I'm a nurse, so it's just been like up and down, as it always is in healthcare. And I got lucky yesterday with my shifts. My patients were all, so I'm good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, now talking about ASMR, you guys gonna
relax.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I was watching your videos all week. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm excited to talk to you. One of the first questions I have is, how did you get started with this? Was there anybody that inspired you that you were watching before? Or how did this start for you?
Yeah, actually, I started watching ASMR about 5 years ago, and it was not as big at that time. But surprisingly, ASMR has been around for like 15 years. I did like a little research. Yeah, it started in about like 2009, 2010, which is crazy. But when I started watching it, I think I first heard about mukbang videos. It's when people eat. And it didn't do much for me. Like, I didn't really care for them. It was like, okay, people eating, but I don't really enjoy watching it. For me, it's like, it's all right. And then I stumbled upon just calming, relaxing video. I think it was on YouTube. I don't think ASMR was anywhere besides YouTube at that point. And there were not that many creators either. It was like a handful, and that's it, basically. Yeah, I remember Gentle Whispers, Maria ASMR. She's like one of the first ones. Yeah. And I really enjoyed the feeling. It's like somebody's caring for you, taking care of you, right? It's very calming. So I started watching it more and more, and I watched it for many years, like 5 years. I mean, I started doing ASMR a couple years ago, so for like at least 3 years, I was just watching, enjoying, and I think when I first saw it on TikTok is when I felt like this format is closer for me than YouTube format, for me as a creator, not as a watcher. Because people were doing live streams and they were actually talking to their audience. And I felt like it was so cool that you can actually interact and people can give you feedback right away, right? Yeah. So when I discovered that, I was like, I really want to try to do live streaming. That's the format that I really like. That's how I started. Now I'm on YouTube as well, but it's still pretty new to me. I'm so used to like having my audience, my chat, so we can chit chat and talk about things. That's like part of the process for me.
It is. It's like, as the audience, it's oddly intimate, and it's super calming for me. And I can see how, if unfortunately you deal with loneliness or don't have like a support system, yet having that person there, you feel like as though they're caring for you and they're talking to you. And there's so much to do in the ASMR realm that I've seen. And one of my favorite videos of yours is like, let me put on makeup on you, and like the sounds of the brushes I'm like, oh my
You
gosh,
almost feel it on your cheek. You're like,
yes,
exactly.
Yeah, and it feels like I'm there with you, like, or whoever is there, and it's nice, Like, I don't know you, but this is nice. Yeah.
And it's like the phenomenon of how we're able to reach so many people through the internet and people you might never have interacted with without it.
Yeah.
And it's a really beautiful thing how connected we can be and how different people use different tools to be able to share the things that they love and getting to just experience community together in a chat. It's kind of fun. And it's like, hello, little people on my phone. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a great day.
Yeah.
And then if you're listening to the podcast right now, hope you're doing well in your car or wherever it is you're listening. I'm here and just broke the third wall or fifth wall. But it's really cool. And I think we should maybe start to think about how we get to connect with so many people and what a beautiful privilege that is. So when crafting ASMR content, can you describe your process or anything that goes into it? And also, like, what makes your ASMR content unique?
That's a very good question. So I've been doing ASMR for almost 2 years. So definitely I had time when I was developing, because always when you start, you don't really know what you're doing. And for me, as somebody who watched ASMR and enjoyed it for like very like long period of time, so I've seen like millions of videos to the point when I started. I felt like I want to do what I enjoy the most. So it's like your feelings guide you, right? So you think about it, will I like this content? Will I enjoy it? So that's how I started. And for me, the most enjoyable is something like slow, calming, because there are so many variations of ASMR. Some of them are very fast and almost like aggressive. They call it aggressive ASMR. So that's the content that I started doing. And the big difference is when you create, for example, long form videos, like for YouTube, you can just come up with, usually it's like a role play or some kind of theme that you just speak and do, versus the short form videos. So for short form videos, recently I started engaging more with the audience. So I do a lot of response to the comments.
I love when you get to engage the community and then people feel like they're heard and seen and that their requests are being honored. And it's a really powerful thing when you're able to, just provide something small for someone who wants some agency or autonomy in their day-to-day life, might not be getting it. And then they ask something from you and you're able to offer it to them. And it sounds simple, but it might make a difference in someone's life.
And I feel like some of my videos are pretty unique because as I speak slowly and I do everything very softly, I switch the triggers, what we call, like different props or things. I switch them pretty fast. So people don't get kind of bored, if it makes sense, when they watch the video. So I think that's also a way of combining things for me. And I love, we do a lot of, we call it emoji challenges, where people just throw random emojis like heart or wood or something, and I make the sounds. And I think it's also entertaining as well as relaxing. So I think that's fun for viewers as well.
Do you find yourself getting relaxed as well, like while you're doing it? Because I imagine that creativity, but also just concentrating on what you're doing and probably blocking out everything else and focusing on the creation. I think that's probably very calming for you as well.
I feel like when I record videos, I don't get to really relax because of LA sounds.
Oh yeah.
And my viewers actually know that pretty well. And I feel like, I don't get into that sense because I'm constantly like, why is the dog barking? Why is somebody screaming right now? Why is your track bass constantly?
I can see that side too.
But when I go live, I usually try not to pay attention to those noises, because if I'm live for like multiple hours, I can obviously stop live or somehow mute the mic every single time something little happens. So I just keep going. And that's when sometimes I feel a little drowsy, like there's certain sounds. But I wouldn't say that I experience in full way ASMR, obviously, because I'm so conscious of what I'm doing. So I don't get that relaxation feeling.
That makes sense too. To think about that side of it.
I think about how the internet has changed so much that it used to be like you put out content and you kind of hope people like it, but you don't really engage with your audience and you don't really take their perspective into consideration, and you don't really change based on your feedback. But when you're able to engage a community, then you kind of grow together, and then everyone feels like they built this whatever it is that you've created together because they've all had a say in it. And it's kind of cool because you build like your own community within your little corner of the internet. And it makes it more fun. People look forward to that. And it gives individual people things to look forward to that maybe they aren't getting access to in their day-to-day life. Right. Like if someone wants to, spend an hour or 2 hours going somewhere, like taking a walk or spending money to get a massage or something like that. Maybe they don't have the means to do that, or they don't have the time to actually leave where they are. And instead they know when you post, they know when you normally go live, and they can look forward to that, set a reminder on their phone, and take some time for themselves. So it's like, regardless of the practice, being able to intentionally take time out of your day to remove yourself from your stressful situation, remove yourself from the day-to-day, your work, to be able to spend time not only for yourself, but with someone familiar and the community that's familiar as well. And I hope that people can begin to understand the internet a little bit better and not give it such a bad rap. And there's misconceptions about ASMR as well. So
While I was looking at ASMR and everything, I'm a huge fantasy nerd, so I stumbled upon like the role play is what you were talking about. And there's so many different realms, and there was one that was like, come with me to the Renaissance Fair, and this guy's dressed in this full wizard outfit, and just like, hell yeah, that's just so funny. But it's also, I could see how it is like escapism, and that can be very, that could be really nice for somebody as well. So that was probably my random like ADHD head was like, yes.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I don't know if you guys thought about it, but ASMR, what it stands for, is this long phrase that you said at the beginning, right?
All right, let's say it one more time. Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Somebody came up with that name. But if you think about it, the feeling is not new. So that feeling of either the tingle or just this calming sensation, it's something that came from life, right? And then ASMR made it intentional. So for example, you can feel that feeling of ASMR when you go to doctor's office, when you go to the salon, right? When somebody's like talking softly to you and they wash your hair and they give your head massage, right? So I think that's how ASMR roleplay started, because they started taking this everyday life situations. Like you said, maybe you cannot go in the instance to the massage or hair salon or something, right? But you can watch a video. I don't know, you guys as nurses, how do you feel? A doctor nurse role play in ASMR is so calming. It's just the sense of, a lot of nurses actually speak pretty softly to their patients, or I don't know, maybe because they're saying the same things, they're kind of like, right?
Sometimes we definitely have a nurse voice, depending on like patients, and
depending on the patient.
It will get like high pitched. Sometimes it will be like soothing. If shit is hitting the fan, you might start talking in a certain way to hopefully calm your patient down. And you're right, I never even thought of it.
I didn't either. I was talking about
and the ASMR for us is like constant alarm fatigue and everything.
A lot of noise.
So I feel like we don't even stop to listen to those to intentionally to anything, because we're constantly listening for cues that something might be going wrong, or we're completely desensitized to noise because we experience so much noise. Right. So I feel like this would be something that would benefit nurses. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, actually, I have a lot of nurses, doctors, all kinds of medical workers watching my stream. And I told her that I'm going to this podcast, so I was so
Oh,
super excited. Yeah,
The worlds are colliding.
Hello.
Yes, exactly. Because I feel like it's very stressful work environment, right? So definitely ASMR is something to consider if if you enjoy ASMR, if you get this relaxing feeling. I feel like it's definitely something that can reduce stress and just even help with anxiety, insomnia. So many people say that their sleep improved. Not just that they fall asleep, but their sleep improved. So they don't wake up that often at night. So I guess that calming state when you fall asleep, it kind of lasts throughout the night as well, which is super interesting. I love reading comments. I love when people tell me how they feel because sometimes you think, I wish there was some kind of research to actually tell us how it works because we're just going we're just poking and seeing what's going to happen, right? How's this going to work? How's that going to work? Will people like it? Will they enjoy it? Is it going to have any effect on them? So I hear a lot of people saying that it helps with sleep. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things besides just relaxing.
I'm hopeful in the next decade or so that we begin to research the way that we interact on the internet and how we provide different modalities on a large scale to people. And I feel like ASMR is such a big one that it's probably something that should be studied if it isn't already. And how we can make it better, how we can implement maybe more evidence-based tactics to make it even more therapeutic. And I'm sure there are practitioners, maybe therapists or mental health clinicians who might eventually begin to incorporate it in some way if it is something that would help reduce someone's anxiety or help them get that sleep. And I think we have to start to think about ways we can meet people where they are. So if that's something that they enjoy and it's something that they are implementing into their day-to-day life, why not encourage that behavior, especially if it's something that's helping someone feel good. So it's just merging the taboo with the Western view of how we support mental health.
Yeah, because some people compare, I mean, it's not the same, but I'm saying in some ways you can think of ASMR as close to meditation, right? Like
that's what I was thinking about.
That's what people compare it to. I mean, it's not the same, but in some ways, like you said, just take yourself out of the certain situations of this world and just relax and think about nothing or just, right?
Yeah.
Just empty your brain.
Hypnosis,
zero
I guess.
thought.
Some
Some
kind
people
of is.
compare it to hypnosis too,
Mhm.
yeah. So, yeah.
And your voice is so soothing. Like I'm getting lulled right now. I gotta stay engaged.
Now a moment for our sponsor. Live the dream of a flexible life by choosing the shifts you want to work. Greenstaff offers you the freedom to make your own schedule where you can work as a travel nurse, allied healthcare professional, per diem nurse, or locum tenens with the best facilities around the country. If you want to travel around the U.S. or even work in your local area, head over to their website at www.greenstaffmedical.com and apply. It's that simple. Greenstaff, your career, your choice.
What are some of the weirdest requests you had for sounds? Or not even weird, but things that you weren't thinking of that actually maybe someone in the audience said, why don't you try this? This is something I like.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. I feel like, I don't know how much you guys into ASMR, like how many different creators you've seen, but I feel like there's so many different ASMR and ways of, and sounds or visuals that people like. People come up with some interesting, like people like nature sounds, for example. People love sounds of rain, of thunder, of frog going, right? Like
Crickets.
yes. Yes. So sometimes like some sounds are found so randomly. My followers always send me something. If they hear something that is not ASMR, but it's just some sound in some video. And then they send it to me and they say, look how it sounds, we should do it on the live. I feel like for me, sounds that I personally don't enjoy, but I do understand that other people enjoy a lot is kind of like mouse sounds when they do a lot of like that. I don't personally watch that, but I don't mind it. Like I understand that some people find it comforting in some ways. So these are like some, like you said, maybe weird requests.
I have so many friends that like they hate the sound of chewing. I just thought about that, and like it doesn't really. I mean, if I'm seeing it, that's one thing. But like the sound of it doesn't really bother me. But I forget what that. There's like a certain name for that.
Yeah.
And
But
you already kind of alluded to this, but we do hear different sounds, and we are attracted to certain sounds. And it's like the incidental ASMR effects is what it's called.
right.
Some people talk about watching Bob Ross's paintings. And I remember that when I was really little, just remembering how soothing it was to listen to him sing happy little trees and here's how you paint this and the brush strokes too. I remember the brush strokes vividly and how every single brush, whether it was a larger brush or a smaller brush, made a different sound, and it was so much fun to watch him create, but also to listen to him create.
Did you like the visual as well?
Yeah, I'm a huge Bob Ross fiend. Rest in peace to our king.
I think a lot of sounds too can be nostalgic or bring back something.
Yeah. I think that's why we love music so much too, and I'm a big component to music that includes different types of instruments that you wouldn't normally hear. I don't know if anyone listens to Andre 3000, but he just came out with like a jazz album. It's like a jazz, but also like ASMR kind of album, and he uses like flutes and violins and tambourines and unconventional like rain machines and things like that. And it's more so, it's not an album that has like a lot of lyrics. It's more so an album that's most likely going to be used in documentaries and movies and screenplays, scores. But it's so relaxing. And like a few months ago, Sean and we went on a little picnic, and that's what I was playing in the background. And it was just so relaxing because I could hear the city noise around me, but listening to that intentional music that was created for a sense of relaxation, a sense of peace through all the noise was really something that I needed. And it's just wonderful that artists and people like you are able to create that for people amidst all the noise that we have to experience, especially if you live in a big city, but just in general. So like big picture, what is your hope for your ASMR content?
Well, I recently started doing YouTube because, like I said, I was really drawn to the streaming and live communicating with people. So right now I'm trying to focus more on the long form videos and creating those role plays with makeup that make them last longer so people can play it and fall asleep to it and know that that's going to last for like an hour. They can just peacefully relax and the video will keep going for sure. They're going to fall asleep. So I'm trying to create more and more YouTube views. So subscribe to my YouTube.
Subscribe! So is the name going to be the same? Sleep_ASMR artist?
Yeah.
I was like ASMR.
Yeah, somebody came up with it. I really like how it sounds because otherwise you don't know how to call the person who does it.
Yes.
The person who does it.
Yeah, it is so hard to decide like what your name is going to be online, and
yes,
sometimes you don't want to put yourself into a box. Like it's funny, she's in scrubs online, and
It's always in scrubs.
technically I don't wear scrubs right now.
Yes.
And so some people will point it out, and they're like, "You don't even wear scrubs anymore," and I'm just like, "You're right."
Metaphorical
Should I change my username? I don't know.
I feel like I could not choose a name. I knew that for some reason I didn't want it to be in ASMR, which is nothing wrong with it. I just felt like I don't want to put my name. I wanted to do something else, and then I know a lot of names, a lot of different people, like a lot of different artists, and I was like, you know what? just gonna be sleep. I'm gonna focus on that. I'm gonna call myself sleep, so I'm just gonna do sleep ASMR. A lot of people call me sleep. Not
that's so
almost as a
cute.
name, you know, like he sleep,
Cool
how are you
nickname.
sleep,
I love
like that. It's
That's
super
cute.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
super cute.
I love how much you care about your community, and
You can
tell
tell.
that they care about you.
I feel like again doing the live streams because people are there and they have their chat, so they're able to communicate. Even if I'm not able to respond right away because I can't read every single comment, sometimes they just even interact with themselves, and it's actually like so fascinating to see how people from completely different backgrounds. I mean, I'm talking people who would never meet in real life, completely different ages, meaning like life situations. Some of them are married with kids, some of them are much younger, like not married yet maybe, or married but don't have kids yet. How they all get together and they find something to talk about and then have their inside jokes, you know, and they're excited to see each other. And like every time I go live, they tell each other, "Oh, hi this, hi that," and you know, they're like, how was your cat doing? How was your leg? How was your husband? Like they know things about each other, so that's pretty cool. And I'm like, you guys are from different states. We have also some people from Europe that also join. Usually the UK, just because English, I speak English, so it's mostly UK, but some other countries too. And it's just crazy. I wish I could meet all these people in real life. That would be so fun if we could just have like a getaway. And yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like even if we wanted, we probably would never be able to like pick a date and pick a place because they literally all from different states.
Yeah.
And they all have different things going on in their lives. So like it's probably impossible to get us all in the same room.
Big though, like ASMR convention or ASMR like meetup.
People do meetups.
ASMR convention. I love that.
And you get together with all of your mutuals, creators that you follow, that you love, and
We should do
Little
that.
safe
We
space.
should
It would
do
be
ASMR
cool.
convention.
like something.
I
And it
feel
doesn't have to be huge,
yeah.
but it could start out small and then grow into something
Right.
even more meaningful.
And I feel like how you were talking about ASMR is facing a lot of negative reactions sometimes. And some people who watch ASMR, they're almost like not proud of it. People who do ASMR, sometimes they're shy to say I do ASMR because they don't know how people are going to react. They don't know if these people will know what ASMR is, or they're going to feel like, oh, that's so weird. Why are you whispering? That makes no sense. So I really hope that in the future ASMR will become something of more like well-known thing, like music. You know what I mean? Like you listen to music, you're not ashamed to say I listen to music, right? It's pretty normal, and I hope ASMR becomes something like this for people, something normal. They're like, oh, you listen to ASMR? Oh, cool. They know it's something with relaxation, or they would say, oh, I don't like ASMR, so I don't listen to it. But at least they know what it is. So there's no misunderstanding of like, oh, what's going on? I feel like that's people's first reaction when they see video and they never heard of ASMR. Their first reaction is like, what is happening? This is so weird. So maybe they could actually enjoy ASMR, but they don't even allow themselves because they're like, I'm not even going to watch. This is too weird for me. And I've had so many people tell me that, oh, I've seen so many ASMR and now I get it, because I guess people need to turn off this yes, and try like not to really understand it, but just listen and enjoy, you know, without trying to understand why are you whispering.
And like I've been on the internet for so long, and I feel like the tide is turning for ASMR, because I remember the YouTube days where only people who wanted to watch like mukbangs were interested in ASMR. And then as ASMR grew, I think there was big stigma around it. And then once it moved to TikTok, I feel like people became a little more open. And ASMR is so big in the live stream space that I feel like you're not going to be able to avoid it. And the more you see it, the more you're exposed to it, the more like you can welcome it. And I feel like I definitely was like, this probably isn't for me a few years back. But now, like, if I come across it, I'm probably going to sit there and listen for a little bit, especially if I'm like laying in bed and doom scrolling. it's a great reprieve from everything else you might be
Yes.
seeing
That's possible.
online.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes people can run into a video of ASMR that maybe not something they would enjoy, and they think all ASMR is like that. But then, like I said, there's so many creatives that all have their own styles, their way of speaking more loud, more softly, whispering. Non-talking ASMR is huge. Like some people, they don't want any talking, that distracts them. And some people love whispering. They just want you to whisper all the time. That's what comes in the voice. So again, maybe some people, like you said, they're not able to avoid it, but maybe they run into something that they might not like and they think, oh, ASMR is like that, so I don't like ASMR. But it's actually, ASMR is such a wide term that it includes everything. So
Is there anything you want to leave the community with about ASMR, your future online, or just any final thoughts you have?
my future or ASMR future?
Maybe both.
Both. Well, for ASMR, like I said, I just hope that it becomes something more of everyday life, that people take more normal, I would say, something that the same like you listen to music or you listen to background rain noise and you listen to ASMR, so people understand that it's just calming, it's pleasant, there's nothing wrong if you listen to ASMR. I really hope that becomes one day our normal. And for me, I'm just very excited about YouTube, guys. Subscribe.
Sleep Asmrtist.
Yes,
We're endorsing.
yes, I'm like growing my YouTube right now. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And definitely check her out.
This was so much fun. And for everyone listening, please follow Ina at Sleep_ASMRtist on TikTok, Instagram, and now YouTube. And reach out with any questions you have, any thoughts you have, anything you want us to cover. And we will see you, and you'll hear from us next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
That was a real